Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Sangiti and today I'll be discussing current affairs of the conflict in Ukraine war. More specifically, I'll be looking at the representation of Ukraine war. Looking at how the BBC News reported on the current affairs, in my opinion, I will say that it was ethical. And the case study I'll be looking at says Ukraine war counter-offensive troops punch through Russia line, general claims. Moreover, I'll be looking at media ethics, the importance of reporting on violence, the context of Ukraine war, the context of the case study that I'll be using, and why I am saying that the reportage was ethical. My understanding is that media ethics refers to the standards that should guide everyone working in the media and use it to deliver information, analysis, or advocacy on matters of public significance. Reporting on violence is important because media plays a huge role in what people believe about facts. Ethics involves what is right, equitable, and fair. It improves situation rather than causing further harm. According to SAGE channels, the context of the violence in Ukraine is that Russian forces committed apparent war crimes and potential crimes against humanity in occupied areas of Ukraine, including ill treatment, torture, arbitrary detention, and the forcible disappearance of civilians and members of the Ukrainian armed forces. The context of the case study I took from BBC News that says Ukraine war counter-offensive troops punch through Russian lines is that Ukraine generals claim they have breached Russia's formidable first line of defenses in south, as the counter-offensive launched earlier this summer may be paused to gather pace. After looking at how media ethics should be responsible and focus on facts, I would still say that the reportage was ethical. I will add by saying the reportage of the case study reported on peace journalism and journalism ethics. Because when the BBC News was reporting about the violent conflicts, they did apply the tools and understanding of the conflict. In the case study, they inserted a picture of a civilians wearing soldiers' uniform, carrying weapons such as guns. The reporting was also not based on journalists' opinion, but based on sources that they used to get information from. And again, looking at the context of violence in Ukraine and the context of this case study, the reportage focused on the conflict's transformation. At first, the report was on how the war started, that Russian war committed different kind of crimes in the areas of Ukraine. After that, in the case study, it is reported that counter-offensive troops punched through Russia lines, meaning attack would be made in response to Russia. This article is also bringing awareness on the. Now, looking at the violence triangle, I would say that, in my opinion, structural violence is the one that perpetuated to physical violence. Reason being that Russia committed potential crimes against humanity like ill treatment and torture in the areas of Ukraine. Therefore, these kinds of crime embedded in social structure and generally result from social injustices. Lastly, according to Hala A. Guta on journalism ethics and conflict-sensitive reporting, role of social institutions such as media must perpetuate or mitigate violence has gained more importance in the field of peace and conflict. Looking at the case study reported by BBC News, they played a role by reducing violence, which is more important in this field of peace journalism. To conclude, I wrap it up by saying the reporting of Ukraine war by BBC News was ethical, looking at the current affairs they reported. They played a role on the importance of violent reporting by involving what is right and what is fair.